the status of the cases. These are misdemeanor offenses in which individuals' cases have already been accused. They've already, most of the individuals have already bonded out. And the whole issue is right now whether we're going to resolve these cases through whether we're going to resolve these cases through a plea hearing, or whether the individual defendants have decided they would like to have a trial in the matter. So today, when I call your name, please, if you're in person, please stand up and say you're present. If you are on Zoom, please make sure that you unmute and indicate that you are present. For those of you who are charged with one or more misdemeanor offenses, please know that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you choose to say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, you should see if you qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office. Otherwise, you would have to choose to hire your own attorney or represent yourself. So, Miss Githia, do you have Haley Elizabeth Denson? She's the add-on status calendar.
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, I do have that.
Okay. And I have a request to reset her case on the jury trial calendar of April 25th on the reasons of a medical excuse. Do you have a copy of that letter?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay. If you could, Miss Redden, would it be possible to send her a copy of the letter? Okay, we're going to scan it and send you a copy of it. Oh, she has.
That's your copy. Miss Younger has it.
Oh,
but she'll
okay.
email forward it to her.
We're going to send you a copy of the letter, and then we just to let you know why we are considering resetting it from April 25th. Miss Redden is present in the courtroom. She is represented by, excuse me, not Miss Redden, Miss Denson. Miss Denson is present in the courtroom, and she's represented by Mr. Michael Roffa. And once you have a look at that letter, then we'll readdress that case.
Okay.
The other cases on, oh, by the way, do you have a plea offer? Was a plea offer made to Ms. Denson, Mr. Rocco?
I thought there was an offer made to Mr. Gaither on this. I'm handling it for Ms. Riley today. Let me just double check.
Yes, I have the plea offer.
Okay, has there been any modifications to the offer?
No, there hasn't been any modifications.
Okay, all right, I'll then, until they get a chance to look at the letter. Okay, Orca A show cause calendar. Position number 1 is, like I said, if you're present, it's important that you let me know you are here. Emily Cabrera, E-M-E-L-Y, Cabrera. Not present.
I'm showing that Ms. Cabrera failed to appear on March 10th, 2021. The state requests a bench warrant.
All right, I'll hold off all rulings on bench warrant at the conclusion of the calendar, but the last one was March 10th, 2021. Okay. Sabrina Carter. Sabrina Elise Carter.
Yes.
Ms. Carter failed to appear August 24th, 2022. The state requests a bench warrant.
Same announcement.
Yes.
Devontae Cheshire. Devontae Cheshire.
He failed to appear September 27th, 2022 for a plea and arraignment. Same announcement.
Keith Diggs. Keith Diggs.
Hearing no response, he failed to appear March 25th, 2021. Same announcement.
Sean Fales. Sean Fales. No one's responding. Okay. Richard Hughes. Richard Hughes. Christopher Jones. Christopher Jones. Ryan McGee. Ryan McGee. Kelvin Miller. Kelvin Miller. Noble Milling. Noble Milling. Marvin Mitchell, Robert Lee Mitchell. All right.
Okay, I do apologize, Your Honor. I think
Oh,
the last one I heard, I do apologize. The last one I heard was position number 4.
okay. So everyone from position 1 through 11 have not appeared. We're going to hold off requests for bench warrants.
Okay.
Robert Lee Mitchell, position 12 is present in the courtroom. Mr. Robert Lee Mitchell, who's your attorney? Your case has been pending since July 2020. Have you hired an attorney anytime between then and now? All right. Do you want to speak to the public defense to see if you qualify? All right. They will. Have a seat. We will be able to speak to one of the attorneys. If you come forward and take an application form, that would be helpful. From Mr. Roper. James Rankhon. Middle name is Millet. James Millet Rankhon, not present. Mariano Romero. Mr. Romero is present in the courtroom. Mr. Romero, you've spoken to the public defender's office?
I think there was some kind of agreement that him finished paying restitution. He's got a money order, $400 in the chief, money order for the day of $5.
Ms. All right, Ms. Gutierrez, do you have a status on, is this a restitution case for compliance?
For Mr. Romero,
Yes, petition 14.
I'm not saying that was a compliance, Your Honor. Hearing.
Back
I'm
in,
not sure of the facts because it's a prior hearing. He had a different public defender.
you did,
But he was supposed to, this is him and his roommate. He was supposed to make a restitution and he thought it was going to be dismissed. Again, I can't say that I'm a party to any of that, but he did bring 2 money orders today, so somebody told him.
Can you email me those, please?
email what?
You said he brought the documents showing that he's.
Money orders. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
Yeah, Mr. Rockov, you have to speak with the mic.
Sorry. No, he doesn't have any orders or anything in writing. He brought 2 money orders with him, one for $400. The second is for $5, which he told was some kind of fee. So somebody gave him some directions.
The last thing I see in this case, in May of 2021, it was reset for compliance. And that's all the notes we've got.
No, and I have no record of anything about
July,
that.
yeah, it was reset from May 17, 2021 for compliance before Judge Dixon. Was he supposed to have brought the money orders then? Why don't we all talk to Mr. Romero and just find out what he knows? And if you can look into it also.
Yes, Your Honor.
Look into it. Position number 10, Mr. Noble Milling. All right, are you planning to sit down now? Okay. The Noble Milling is position number 10.
I'll speak with him, Judge.
All right.
Yeah, I have a follow-up.
Have a seat, Mr. Milling. Attorney Frank Gaither will speak to you. Mohammed Said, S-A-I-D. Mohammed Said, S-A-I-D. It's not present.
I do not see an FTA for him, but the state is requesting a bench warrant.
Okay. Charleston Smith, position 16. Charleston. All right, Mr. Smith is present. And who's your attorney?
I don't know.
All right, do you want to speak to the public defender's office? All right, have a seat and we'll get the application to you.
Don't take those.
Position 17, Romy Tekel Mariam. Romy Tekel Mariam. Tekel Mariam is one word. Romy, R-O-M-I-E.
Your Honor, that would be, that's gonna be a null pros.
Okay. Position 17 is null cross. The 18, Sade or Say Thomas. Say, Sade, okay. Position 18, and Ms. Thomas, who's your attorney? You had a calendar on May 20th, you had a calendar on June 17th of last year. Did you never speak to a public defense attorney?
No, I did a plea. That was it.
You had a calendar on May 4th, 2021, and you waived your right to a jury trial. Did you speak to an attorney at that time?
It was through Zoom. I didn't speak to anyone.
Then on June 17th, you did not appear. Do you want to speak to an attorney or do you want to represent yourself?
I'll speak to an attorney.
Okay. Position 19, Phelan O'Connor Thorpe Jr. Phelan O'Connor Thorpe Jr. Phelan Thorpe Jr.
Yeah, I'm showing that he failed to appear February 18th, 2021, state requests a bench warrant.
And Bernal Yordi, Y-O-R-D-I.
That's my client, Judge. He's in the hallway.
Okay, Attorney Jason Kessler is in the courtroom. And Mr. Kessler, how's your client proceeding today?
Can we set this case for a plea date?
For pleading?
Plea date. Plea date.
A plea date. Have you received the offer?
Yesterday, yes. Mhm. Yes.
And
Yeah.
you also want to consider that?
Yeah, well, we'll need an interpreter for the plea. Is it possible to get the interpreter? for
What
this?
language?
Spanish.
Spanish? I can find out. Ms. Redden, please ask him, please. If you have a few moments, we can see if we can have an interpreter available. May be via Zoom. All right. Do you have the plea paperwork, Mr. Kessler?
No.
All right, Ms. Githia? But you can see the plea offer.
I would like to talk a little bit more with the prosecutor about that plea offer.
Certainly. If you can, just write down your phone number, I can send it to Ms. Githia, who is the, watch out for those. There we go, thank you. Ms. Githia, on position number 20, Attorney Jason Kessler is present. We're going to provide you his phone number if you can call him while he's here.
Okay. Is it the same number I called him yesterday? I have his number. And I can give him a call.
Okay, that's fine
I have
then.
his number.
And if y'all are still moving forward with the plea, then please send in the paperwork and you can send it to the attention of Ms. Redden. We'll print it and have him and I can review it.
Okay.
Ms. Tessa, if you want to step outside, she'll call you very shortly. Okay, that was the call of the calendar. Is there anyone on Zoom whose name I did not call? Anyone on Zoom whose name I did not call? All right. Anyone here in the courtroom whose name I did not call? All right, I think I addressed everyone. For those of you who are seeking to speak with a public defense attorney, qualify you for their services, then we can move forward with your case. Mr. Romero, I'll need you and Mr. Rumpel to get me a snapshot of what was that restitution issue, and Ms. Githia is going to look into that as well.
Your Honor, I have if we could visit on my number, I'll put it, what's that?
A million?
So, yeah, Mr. Milling, yeah, my number is off, so I don't know what
Okay.
number is, number 10. I have, like I said, I have a file form and reviewing the file. It looks like the state never made an offer in this case. That I have a notarized affidavit, thank you. I have a notarized affidavit from the victim in the case wanting to dismiss it. However, it looks like the notes from maybe the former prosecutor and the former public defender was that the state was going to transfer this case to the DA's office, but there's no update on the status of the transfer.
Right.
So based on the state's announcement, that would determine what the defense will do.
All right. Ms. Gutierrez, you have a moment to address this case?
Okay, I have an offer, Your Honor. Is that what he's asking for?
Yeah, well, two things. Position number 10, Noble Milling. Looks like the DA was attempting to, not the DA, the SG's office was attempting to transfer this case since 2021, but there's been no movement at all. So I'm assuming it's still going to stay with us, correct?
Yeah, I would double check, but yes.
Okay. So what is the offer for Mr. Milling?
12 months to serve 5 days, credit for time served 5 days, balance probated, 12 anger management classes, and no contact with the victim, Leith Johnson.
And I have a stamp filed copy of an affidavit of Leith Johnson to dismiss the prosecution as notarized.
All right, you can send it if you, yeah, you can send it to Ms. Gutierrez. Ms. Gutierrez, if you want to look at that affidavit, I don't know. Thank you. The affidavit was stamped filed on February 25th, 2021. Looks like the affidavit was executed on same date. So we'll send it to you, and if you have a modification to your plea offer, that will be good. All right. All right, Mr. Gaither, all I can do is have a look at
For
it,
sure, that's fine. That's fine.
and you'll come back with maybe a counter. Thank you so much. Negotiated plea also.
This particular.
Well, this was in Howard Beatty's office.
See that?
Yeah, office motion, right, yeah.
But it was like that. But he answered this. Right.
This is actually the,
I see it's a pretrial paperwork, but I'm assuming maybe that's where he got.
no,
these.
this, yeah, this is his bond amount. This is the bond that he received.
I can't read it out of bond short.
Mhm.
2,000.
So this was a, yeah, signature bond for 2001 retrial. It was all broken.
Okay.
That's just a notation on the file. It was written.
Your Honor, has Mr. Kessler stepped out of the courtroom? So I can give him a call.
Yes, he has. And
Okay.
position number 8, Brian McGee is present as well.
Thank you.
Mr. McGee, do you have an attorney? Please stand up. Please stand up. Thank you. All right, your case has been pending since December 2020. You've never approached any attorney? You have you approached any attorney?
No.
Okay.
I just found out,
Sorry?
I just found out about this court date, the bill bond.
Okay.
Court date.
You have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you say about the facts, statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, you can speak to one of our public defense attorneys here to see if you qualify. Would you like an opportunity to see if you qualify, or would you like to represent yourself? Repeat,
I can represent.
you want to represent yourself?
Could it be bond?
Yes, this is a DUI case. DUI, failure to maintain lane, giving false information to an officer.
Yeah, well, can I see about the, yeah, I can see about those, get it.
Come away around, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Make sure.
Let me see what's going on in Mr. McGee's case. Just one second.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, other than a failure to appear before Judge Dixon back in February of 2021, Mr. McGee case has really not had any activity. It's not been a, he failed to appear for arraignment.
For arraignment, I wasn't notified of that, Your Honor.
Against that, I can't understand what you're saying.
I said I wasn't notified of it.
Head back.
I wasn't notified of that, Your Honor, of the arraignment.
No, I'm not putting you in jail for that. I just want to make sure how we move on from now.
Oh, okay.
So, Ms. Githieli, do you have an offer for Mr. Ryan McGee?
Yes, count one would merge with count two. Will merge, count two would be 12 months to serve 8 days, credit for time served 8 days, balance probated, a $400 fine, 40 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, risk reduction program, 1 victim impact panel. And count three would be 12 months to serve 8 days, credit for time served 8 days, balance suspended.
So, Mr. McGee, you do have a right to an attorney. We have public defense attorneys over here if you want to apply for their services. You've had, you missed your last court date when you could have had an opportunity to speak to an attorney or understand where you need to go. So presently, I'm going to schedule a case for trial. And yeah,
I wasn't aware of, I was locked up actually. So I wasn't aware of a
if you were
court.
locked up, it was your duty to make sure to let the court know that you were unavailable and check on your dates. And it looks like you changed your address also recently.
No, it was the same. The bail bondsman, they called me and they was talking about at a court date.
Mr. McGee, your bail bondsman is not the person whom you call to get your court dates. You call either your attorney or the clerk's office in the court.
Oh, I thought they was gonna send me one.
Anyways,
I'm sorry.
the reason you didn't show up the last time,
Mhm.
that's on you. So your case is going to be scheduled for trial. In the alternative, the prosecution is making an offer if you decide you want to plead guilty. So let me just first make sure you understand this. If you choose to represent yourself today,
Mhm.
you're responsible for any legal decision you make and how it impacts your situation. It'll be based strictly on your knowledge of the law and your research. If you make any legal decision today as to whether you want to go to trial or whether you want to accept the plea offer made by the prosecutor. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Okay,
I'm going to repeat the plea offer.
okay.
You're charged with 3 counts: failing to maintain lane, DUI, and giving an officer false information. The prosecution is willing to merge the failure to maintain lane. In other words, you won't be convicted of that charge. Okay? On the giving false information, it will be 12 months, 8 days to serve, which you've already done. And balance suspended, that means there isn't anything left to do on the giving false information. That's done.
Okay.
On the DUI, they're asking you to go on probation to comply with these conditions. The conditions are paying a $400 fine, doing 40 hours of voluntary community service, undertaking a alcohol and drug evaluation, submit yourself to any treatment that's required, attend and complete a risk reduction course, and 1 victim impact panel that is organized by the probation office.
Okay, I have a signed document by the Gwinnett Sheriff. I did a program. And I did a program already for drug evaluation for 3 months.
If you've already done that, and if that's acceptable to your, well, let me see what it is. When did you do it?
Okay, oh, the date is on there, and this is my proof of incarceration.
Thank you. And are you still attending any rehabilitation or counseling through this program?
No, not through that program. That was incarceration. I was incarcerated.
In February of 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
And this was in oh, I see. All right. Ms. Gipier, he's shown me proof that he was incarcerated at Gwinnett County Jail, and the release date was March 10, 2021. All right. Unless you are continuing to receive treatment from this program with the Gwinnett County Sheriff,
Mhm.
I'm still going to require you to do an alcohol and drug evaluation. It's just an evaluation. And if the evaluator says you don't need additional treatment, then you don't have to do it.
All right.
So that is the offer from the state. If you want to write it down and think about it, and then let me know.
Can you tell me the only two things is basic probation?
Let me-
I'll write it down then.
Okay, you're gonna write it down.
All right.
For the DUI, it's going to be no additional jail time. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll be on probation to pay a $400 fine. Do 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency like Salvation Army, Goodwill, so forth.
Okay.
You'll need to do an alcohol and drug evaluation, and if treatment's not required, because you can show them that document also.
Okay.
Let the counselor know whether that's satisfactory.
Okay.
You need to do a risk reduction program,
Yeah.
just like a defensive driving program,
Okay.
and attend one victim impact panel. It's a presentation on the dangers of DUI and the victim and how it affects the victim.
Okay. And how long is the probation?
It's 12 months, and if you complete all the conditions, then I'll put you on non-reporting basis.
Just got off base.
You got off probation from the Gwinnett County case?
No, I'm on report with them, and then I'm on bond for habits, and I'm on bond.
That's a Gwinnett County matter.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm just saying that.
I'm saying that you'll be on probation for this.
I know,
Complete all the conditions, and as soon as the conditions are completed, then it'll be non-reporting, which means that you don't have to report after that.
Okay.
You want to think about it?
I'm gonna go with it. I ain't gonna, yeah, I'm good.
I don't understand what you just.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go with it. I apologize. I'm just so
Or
frustrated.
if you go with it, you need
Yeah, oh, I wanna go with it. So,
to be offered.
please.
Ms. Vivian, if you could send in the plea documents for Mr. Ryan McGee, position number 8. Mr. McGee, if you please have a seat, we'll get the documents. You need to look them over, right? Check and sign the appropriate boxes, and then we will have a plea hearing and close the case out.
All right.
No, you have a seat there.
Okay.
Definitely. I'm gonna-
Yes, Your Honor, I will get it momentarily.
That's fine. Ms. McGee. All right, we'll be in recess until Ms. Givier has spoken to Mr. Kessler. Ms. Givier, you can go ahead and call Attorney Kessler, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. We will have a Spanish interpreter in about 10 minutes. So Ms. Givier, if you want to keep that in mind. Let Mr. Kessler know about that.
I don't do that. Great, okay.
Mr. Keith Diggs. All right, please stand up. Mr. Diggs, who is your attorney? Who is your attorney? All right. You have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you say about the facts, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, you can apply with the public defender's office to see if you qualify. Otherwise, you can choose to represent yourself or hire or hire an attorney. What would you like to do? All right, you'll need to have a seat. They will have to give you an application form and speak with you.
Hold on, Mr. Rambo. Judge said give her a moment.
14.
Judge said give her a moment.
I can address it when Ms. Kathleen comes back. She's talking to Mr. Kessler right now.
The interpreters on Zoom, Ms. Redden and Judge Law.
The
Thank
prosecutor,
you.
the prosecutor emailed the paperwork to the court. So complete
Okay.
paperwork, so we're ready to go.
Ms. Chansey, thank you very much for being here. We are just getting the plea paperwork prepared, and then you move forward with the plea hearing.
Your Honor, what position is that?
It's position 20,
Thank
case
you.
number 20 CR 005-950C. Do you have the calendar?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you so much for your help. I'll be standing by.
All right, thank you.
And from Kennedy. And what was her name? I don't have any of your passport, what's your name? Stephanie. Just about around, you know, in my ex home. You have her name. January 6th. There you go. They don't want to take it over. So that's what we said. Yeah, but I have.
It had come from.
Sorry. I am really good.
Sending the plea paperwork to you or to us?
Directly to us.
Oh,
If so.
You're on number 4.
I'm waiting on.
Oh, I'm
Get
sorry.
the AF.
Okay, all right.
Does he qualify?
He does qualify, yes.
Okay. All right.
Need to hear this announcement.
You hear what I ask you?
Okay. You can- Right back.
This
I can do it.
Ms. Gethea, we're just waiting on the prosecutor whenever you're ready.
I'm about to email it right now, the plea paperwork for position 20.
And we're just waiting on plea paperwork for position 8 and 20 right now.
Oh, could you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
position 8 and 20.
Yes, I'm about to send position 20 right now.
Okay.
Okay, just sent it.
Have you started on number 8 yet?
I'm about to do number 8.
Okay, before we do that, I just want, we have a couple of folks wanting to make announcements, so if we can address that. Okay, did you get a chance to review the positions letter with regards to Haley Denson, the add-on position number 1?
I did read that, Your Honor. I have no objection to her jury trial being rescheduled.
Add-on position 1 on Ms. Denson, we're going to reset the jury trial calendar, jury trial date, excuse me. And Ms. Denson, you need to make sure your address is current with us at all times, and we will send you notice of your next court date.
But it's not current, right? You're writing out your address now, it's not current. They don't have it. Okay.
Mic to Mr. Rockwell, please. Mr. Gaither, you can swing that mic to Mr. Rockwell. What was that? Mr. Rockwell?
She's writing out her address now. The address it's in the record is not current. She's writing it out. Okay.
Okay, excellent. All right. So the add-on position number 1 is reset to further notice for the next trial date. And as soon as we get her new address, we will put that in. Okay. All right, Ms. Denson. What's the other announcement, Mr. Rockoff? You have an announcement for position 4, Keith Diggs.
Yes, Mr. Diggs. Your Honor.
All right, closer to the mic, closer to the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. The victim in that case is deceased. Her birth, I think her date of birth is 1681. So I guess the state would want to check that out and we'll reset it, I guess. It's a domestic violence. There's no other witnesses.
Yes, I would need to obtain a copy of the death certificate.
I don't have any documentation on that, except
Okay, going to null cross the case?
I would need to get a copy of the death certificate before I can null process this or make
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry.
she died in Fulton County.
If that could be reset, Your Honor.
Right.
Yeah. Going to reset
That's
this
fine.
to the May 5th. Status calendar at 1:30. Well, can I reset it to the final fee calendar at 9 o'clock in case we don't? Because this case may come off the calendar if they receive the suggestion of death before May 5th. Would that be acceptable?
I didn't hear the date. I'm sorry.
May 5th
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
at 9 a.m. I'll
Yeah.
put it on the final plea calendar. And if the prosecution receives the notice of death, suggestion of death, or the death certificate before May 5th, they can now cross the case and just let us know the case is off the calendar. Would that be satisfactory?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Diggs. So right now your case is scheduled to May 5th at 9 a.m. If we get evidence to verify the status with the victim, then the case will be taken off the calendar and the prosecution will close the case out. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have anything with you, a death certificate, a suggestion of death?
Well, can you get it and email it?
If I can keep on the phone, I can make it happen.
Okay.
If I stay in home, Georgia,
Oh,
Do you know where the funeral took place?
home, Georgia,
Do you know which funeral home?
man, my father handled all that situation.
Well, it's important for you to get that verification.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And victims advocate can also reach out to the family to find out. Thank you. Okay, so that's reset to May 5th, 9 a.m. Next announcement, Mr. Rocco, you have position,
16,
excuse me, was it 18?
6,
16, Charleston Blue Smith.
yes,
And you're requesting a reset so you can review discovery and consider the plea offer.
yeah, please go to the final plea calendar.
Do you have discovery right now that we can consider?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything over and above what was previously filed?
I'm checking now. We're not showing that any discovery has been uploaded to Odyssey. I can email that to him now. You're talking position 16, Charleston Smith?
Charleston Smith, you'll have to email it to Ms. Redden
Okay.
and we will go and do that.
Yes,
All right,
it's number 4.
yeah, Mr. Ruffalo,
That's right.
Charleston Smith, Ms. Sarita Givney is going to email the discovery she has at the present time. You can review it and then, what's the plea offer for simple assault?
12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served, 3 days to serve the remaining 27 days, 12 weeks of anger management, a gun safety class, forfeit firearm, and no contact with the victim, Jerica Baines, and stay away from the incident location.
That's for Ms. Charleston Smith. Okay. Yes. All right, Mr. Ruffalo, review the discovery that we're getting and see if you all want to do a plea today or then we can reset it for another day. But this would require additional jail time.
Yes.
Mr. Charleston Smith?
Oh.
All right, Mr. Gator, your 2 cases?
First we revisit number 10, Noble Milling. Is there a status on the state's announcement? Whether it was transferred to, I guess it's gonna remain here.
It's going to remain there. It was not transferred. It will not be transferred.
What is the state's offer?
12 months to serve 5 days, credit for time served 5 days, balance probated, 12 anger management classes, no contact with the victim, Leith Johnson.
We can't accept that. Were you able to look at the affidavit that was emailed to you?
I have not looked at, oh, hold on. Hold on. Given the nature of this case and prior difficulties, we will not be dismissing this case. I read the email that you did send, but we're not going to dismiss this case.
We can't accept the state's offer today.
Okay,
Now, I'm gonna need some time to talk to Mr. Milling about this case.
all right, I'll reset it to the May 5th, 9 a.m. final plea calendar. You have the plea offer and the alleged victim wants to reach out to the prosecution, then she also has that option. All right, Mr. Noble Milling. Your next court date when you have to show up is May 5th. May 5th. You follow me, sir? Okay, come all the way to the podium. Right here.
Have to come back to court again.
Mr. Milling, can you hear me now?
Yes.
The prosecution does not want to dismiss the case even with that affidavit you provided. So we're going to reset it to May 5th at 9 a.m. Your attorney is Mr. Gaither. And he will talk to you to see how you want to proceed with the case. Any questions? All right, thank you. Your next case was Baker. Position 12, Robert Lee Mitchell. Next case is Robert.
It's Robert Mitchell, Judge. Yes, number 12. I was able to get a printed copy of the, I guess, the discovery that's on file. But let me ask, what is the state's recommendation in this case?
12 months to serve, 2 days, credit for time served, 2 days, family violence intervention program, 40 hours of community service, and no contact with the victim.
That's going to be difficult. He's 80 years old and they're married. And so I'm gonna need some time to talk to my client and the prosecutor about this case as well, Judge.
Any modification, Ms. Gutierrez?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could you repeat that?
Any modification?
At this time, no, Your Honor.
Okay. I can either reset it to May 5th or if you want to do a non-negotiated plea.
Let's do May 5th, because I haven't even had a chance to speak with Mr. Mitchell about the details of the case.
All right. Mr. Robert Mitchell. Your attorney is Mr. Gaither, all right? And he's received what the state is offering. So he's going to have a conversation with you. You need to be back on May 5th.
Yes, ma'am.
At 9 a.m. Same place. All right, and we will see how you all want to proceed at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
You call. I'll call you. You're free to go.
just make sure we have your correct address, phone number, and email.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
I think that was your only case, 2 cases. All right. Mr. Ruffle,
No, I have one more case, Judge. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I got you. Go. I got you. Have to go.
Yeah, you can go.
Mr. Ruffle, the next case I want to address after Mr. Gaither is Mr. Romero.
You know, I don't have to go back. He says he has a second case, which I am not aware of. They don't have a file. He said they were being handled together, but they're not related.
What's the other case number?
I have nothing, only at this word. That's, and he said these money orders that he brought to court are not related to this case, but to the other case, but that they're,
I'm gonna hold off on that. I need to find out what that other case is. Okay, so Mr. Gaither, what's your third case?
Number 18, Judge, Miss Sade,
I'm
Sade
sorry.
Thomas.
If you just give me 1 second, Your Honor, let me just send this.
We're all multitasking today. So, Mr. Kessler and your client, if you'd like to come forward and sit by the bench, is he outside? No, not around the other way. Those doors are very annoying. Thank you. Are you walking?
And
Okay.
I think it's about.
Have a seat there.
Okay, the discovery for Charleston Smith was just sent to Ms. Redden. And what was the next case Mr. Gaither was addressing?
Position 18, Sade Thomas.
Okay, yes.
What is the state's, what's the offer in this case?
12 months probation, $300 fine, six anger management classes, and no contact with Emmett James.
Is the state aware that Emmett James was also arrested on a cross warrant in this case? So his case, I don't know whether it's pending or anything.
Let me double. Yes, we are aware. Yes.
Is his case still open or is it
His
closed
case
out?
his case has been resolved.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Mr. Emmett James' case, a final disposition was entered on August 8, 2022. And it was non-fraud.
Well, I'm definitely gonna need some time, Judge. I don't even have a police report on this case. And I would like need an opportunity to speak with Ms. Thomas.
Ms. Githia, unless you have another decision on this case, I'm resetting it to May 5th. Is that
It's a-
what you want me to reset it? or-
Yes, Judge.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
That's the final plea calendar, right?
This is a final reset to
Sure.
the plea calendar on May 5th at 9 a.m. All right, Ms. Thomas. Your next court date is May 5th at 9 a.m. Please make sure your address is current with us and you need to appear in person. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we are going to address position 20, which is excuse me, Ms. Kessler and your client would like to be in the podium. Ms. Patsy,
Yes, ma'am.
you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you translate will be a true and accurate translation with no changes or embellishments.
I do, Your Honor.
All right. We are addressing State versus Bernal Mejia Yorkie.
Esta es la fiscalía en contra de Bernal Mejía Yordi.
Case number 20 CR 005-950C.
El caso es número 20 CR 005-950C.
Mr. Yorkie is present in the courtroom with his attorney, Jason Kessler.
El señor Yordi está en la sala con su abogado, el señor Kessler. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I hear some conversation in the background and I cannot hear what you're saying.
It's picking up Mr. Gabe there in the background.
Can you hear me better?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Mr. Yordi has a right to remain silent. Anything he says about the facts of the case, his statements can and will be used against him.
El señor Yordi tiene el derecho a guardar silencio porque todo lo que diga puede y va a ser usado en su contra.
He has a right to an attorney and is represented by counsel.
Él tiene un derecho a ser representado por un abogado y está representado por uno.
Mr. Yordi has been accused of 6 separate misdemeanor offenses.
El señor Yordi ha sido acusado en 6 diferentes cargos de delito menor.
They are failure to turn on his headlights as required. DUI. Sorry, go ahead.
El primer cargo es por manejar sin las requeridas luces encendidas.
Driving under the influence of alcohol less safe.
Por manejar incapacitado por los efectos del alcohol.
Endangering a child by driving under the influence of alcohol.
Por poner en peligro a un menor manejando bajo los efectos del alcohol.
That's 2 counts of endangering a child.
Son 2 cargos por poner en peligro a un menor.
Failure to use a child or youth restraint.
Por uso inapropiado del cinturón de seguridad en un menor.
And driving without a valid license.
Y por manejar sin licencia válida.
The allegations, the incident date is January 26, 2020 in Fulton County, Georgia.
El día del incidente fue el 26 de enero del 2020 en el condado de Fulton, Georgia.
Mr. Kessler, is this a negotiated plea?
Señor
Yes.
Kessler, ¿este es un convenio declaratorio? Sí, su señoría.
Yes.
Yes, it is, Judge.
I'm sorry, I have to wait for the trend.
Ella-
Mr. Yordi, I'm going to place you under oath. Please raise your right hand.
Señor Yordi, lo voy a juramentar. Por favor, levante su mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm that what you provide for purposes of this plea is true and correct?
¿Usted jura o afirma que la información que va a proveer en esta declaración es la verdad?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
Thank
Your Honor.
Ms. Githia, what are the charges that the state is proceeding on for the plea?
¿Cuáles son los cargos con los cuales la fiscalía va a procesar?
Counts 2, 3, 4, and 5.
So it's
Es
the
el cargo 2, 3 y 5.
is the DUI, is the 2 counts of endangering a child and failure to use the seatbelt.
Correct.
Entonces es el por manejar incapacitado por los efectos del alcohol, los dos cargos por poner en peligro a un menor sin el cinturón puesto correctamente y por manejar sin licencia. Is that, I'm sorry, Your Honor, the last one was driving without a license?
No, failure to use a
Oh.
seatbelt for a child.
Ok, el último es por no usar el cinturón de manera apropiada de seguridad de un menor.
What are the terms the state is offering?
12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, the balance probated, $1,000.
One moment, please. Se les da la sentencia de 12 meses con crédito por el tiempo servido de 24 meses, de 2 meses, y el resto de la sentencia a cumplirse bajo libertad probatoria.
Did you get the balance probated?
Yes, that was
Okay.
the last thing I said.
Okay, $1,000 fine,
Una multa de $1,000
40 hours of community service,
y 40 horas de trabajo a favor de la comunidad.
alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment,
Una evaluación de drogas y alcohol y tratamiento si es necesario.
risk reduction program,
Un programa o curso para reducir el riesgo en el manejo
one victim impact panel.
y asistir a un panel de impacto a la víctima.
And the remaining charges are null crossed?
Correct, yes, Your Honor.
¿No se procesan los restos de los cargos? Correcto, sí, su señoría.
Mr. Kessler, are these the terms to which your client has agreed?
Señor Kessler, estos son los términos a los cuales su cliente ha acordado.
Yes, Judge.
Sí, su señoría.
And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID in this case?
¿Usted está de acuerdo con el fundamento, la identificación y jurisdicción del caso?
Yes, Judge.
Sí, su señoría.
Mr. Yordi, have you consumed any alcohol or medication recently?
Señor Jordi, ¿usted ha consumido algún medicamento o alcohol recientemente?
You have to say yes or no.
¿Tiene que
No.
decir sí o no? No, su señoría. No, no, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
I think you understand some conversational English. Yes?
Creo que usted entiende algo de inglés en la conversación, ¿cierto?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
¿Usted está satisfecho con los servicios de su abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
Is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this offer today?
¿Hay alguien que lo haya forzado o inducido a hacer lo que usted acepte este convenio declaratorio hoy?
No.
No.
And has your attorney gone over the document with regards to your waiver of rights?
¿Y su abogado le ha leído o repasado el documento de la renuncia de derechos constitucionales con usted hoy?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you understood your attorney?
¿Usted le entendió a su abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
So just to repeat, if you enter this plea, you have to give up your right to a trial, give up your right to go back to court.
Entonces usted, para que quede claro, vamos a repetir, si usted toma esta declaración hoy, usted renuncia a su derecho de ir a juicio y también de volver a presentarse ante el tribunal.
To confront your accuser, examine witnesses, challenge the evidence by the state.
También usted no va a poder desafiar a los testigos o presentar sus testigos a favor y también procesar los cargos puestos por la fiscalía.
And to have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Y también hacer que la fiscalía compruebe estos cargos más allá de toda duda razonable. ¿Entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand that entering such a plea can have an impact upon your residency status?
¿Usted entiende que el tomar esta declaración podría causar un impacto en su estado de residencia?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you still prepared to enter a plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
¿Está entonces preparado para tomar su declaración libre, voluntariamente y a sabiendas?
Sí.
Yes.
How do you plead to one count of DUI less safe, 2 counts of endangering a child by driving by DUI of alcohol, and 1 count of failure to use a child safety restraint?
Señor, ¿cómo se declara por manejar incapacitado por los efectos del alcohol por 2 cargos al poner en peligro a un menor manejando bajo los efectos del alcohol y por 1 cargo de uso inapropiado del cinturón de seguridad en un menor?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Your sentence is concurrent. That means it applies to all the charges, and you will be on probation.
Toda la sentencia va a rendirse, perdón, a servirse de manera concurrente. Quiere decir que la misma sentencia es para cada uno de los cargos y usted va a cumplirlo bajo libertad probatoria.
Mr. Kessler, you all agreed to 12 months,
12 months probation, correct.
12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours.
Serían 12 meses bajo probatoria para servir 24 horas con crédito de 24 horas.
You will report to probation next Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta.
Usted va a tener que presentarse ante la oficina de registro probatorio el jueves antes de las 3 de la tarde en el 132 de Mitchell Street en el centro de Atlanta.
While on probation, you will pay a $1,000 fine and 40 hours of community service.
Mientras usted esté bajo libertad probatoria, deberá pagar una multa de $1,000 y cumplir con 40 horas a favor de la comunidad.
There are court costs and other probation fees involved as well.
También están incluidos pagos para probatorias y costas judiciales.
And you can do the community service at any nonprofit agency.
Y usted puede cumplir sus horas de trabajo a favor de la comunidad en cualquier agencia sin fines de lucro.
You must go to a healthcare provider and undertake an alcohol and drug evaluation and submit yourself to any treatment if required.
Usted debe presentarse ante un profesional médico, doctor, y someterse a una evaluación de drogas y alcohol y seguir cualquier tratamiento que sea recomendado.
You will also complete a risk reduction course and attend one victim impact panel.
Usted deberá tomar un curso para reducir el riesgo en el manejo y también presenciar un panel de impacto a la víctima.
Do you understand your sentence?
¿Usted entiende su sentencia?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Kessler, any questions?
¿Alguna pregunta, señor Kessler? Eso es todo, su señoría.
You will need to remain and complete a form for probation, and then you are free to go.
Usted tiene que quedarse a completar un formulario para la oficina de probatoria y después puede retirarse.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I believe the probation agent speaks Spanish, but I'm not sure.
I'll help translate.
Yeah, the probation officer is not here today. They will meet next Thursday at 132 Mitchell Street.
Yeah,
So-
and Mr. Kessler speaks very well Spanish.
Now, see, I don't know. It's up to you. to let
I
me-
know.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Chancellor.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
All right. You have a great day too. Thank you.
Judge,
Who said that?
victim advocate,
Oh, yes.
right here. Hi, the defendant, Mr. Muhammad, is here for position 15, as well as the victim.
Ms. Gutierrez, we're going to address the plea for Mr. McGee. Position number 8.
I'm gonna send that pre-paper. I'm typing it up. I'm finishing it now.
Okay.
Let me ask a question on that, because I think Mr. McGee came in late. Can someone refer, did he Cause
He
he's
said-
seeking answers for an attorney now, but I'm just trying to figure out what the status is.
He came in, we talked,
Okay,
I explained to him his rights. He said he wanted to represent himself. The state gave him an offer, and he said that he wants to take the offer.
okay. I think he's wavering on that, Judge.
Well, you let me know. We haven't got the paperwork yet.
Okay, let's do this. You still need the services of a lawyer?
Okay.
Okay, I'll represent him, Judge. And can we just, since it's a DUI, can we put this on the final plea calendar? Let me get the states off on the record and hopefully we can resolve it at the next calendar.
Mr. McGee. Oh,
He's position 8.
okay, so he's represented by Mr. Frank Gaither.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the offer is, the failure to maintain lane or improper lane change will merge with the DUI. The giving false information to an officer, count 3, is bound suspended. And on the DUI is 12 months to serve 8 days, credit for time served 8 days. Balance probated, $400 fine, 40 hours of community service, 8 ET, risk reduction, and 1 victim impact fund.
Okay, and Judge, because that appears to be the statutory minimums. But if we could still just put this on a final plea calendar, give me a chance to explain everything and talk to him.
He needs to come back on May 5th at 9 a.m. 9 a.m., not 9:20. And it'll be the final plea calendar. And Mr. Gaither, if you decide to take the plea, make sure you get the paperwork from Ms. Gittier or Ms. Riley or whoever's the ASG at that time.
I
we
will,
can move
so we,
forward.
got you,
Right.
Judge.
Okay. Ms. Gittier, by any chance, have you had an opportunity to look at Mr. Romero's claim of restitution? He says there's another case and something.
I have not had a chance to look. When I look for this case, this instant case, there is no reference to compliance in our notes.
There is none?
Not in our notes for that, no.
Okay.
And I think that's correct. He's fine on this other case, second case, so being handled, he gets it instead. Just getting, I don't know Miss Giddings. I don't even know if she's still with the out. I was gonna have Frank. She was a former PD.
Okay. Just for your information, the case number, Mr. Rockoff and Ms. Gittier, is 20 SC 175 152.
Your Honor, I'm showing that that case is closed.
So what?
We said it was supposed to be, but he brought his final payment with me today. So I don't know what happened. So you're not again, I don't know. I didn't know anything about this case. The second case. He finally told me that he would bring in his final restitution that the case was supposed to be dismissed when he brought it. But it was not for this case, the restitution. I guess we don't need to worry about that. That's a felony case. But he says they were being handled together. Doesn't make sense either. The only thing I have in file was that on March 20th. He called me, apparently, or emailed, sent me some kind of information on his final payment, but not, I didn't know at the time, I wanted this case. Okay. And you have that in the file.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't.
Thank you. Oh, need to send you something to print and then you need to give it to Mr. Saeed. Um, And what was that amount of restitution?
He said the original max was $2,300. Got the last $400 today.
Okay, we have a restitution order from the felony case. And it was $3,694.18. So that's from the felony case. So he has no restitution in this case.
Right.
All right. So what would you like to do today for Mr. Romero?
I'd just like to reset it so I can look at this.
Okay.
Things should be.
All right, Mr.
Back to you.
We can give this to Mr. Ruffle. Mr. Ruffle, you might want to keep this for your file, just to show that if he's got money in his hands, it should have gone to that case, because it's got a timeline also, 18 months on the side, okay?
He said, yeah, he said he got extended.
All right, so if you need to pay money, Mr. Romero, it's for the felony case, it's not for this case.
Yeah, you've got, the next one is not, you're supposed to send the AIME thing, right? Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to this case. This one, he's been accused of battery, domestic violence from January 17, 2021. There is no compliance. And Mr. Gutierrez, what is the plea offer for Mr. Romero in position 14?
12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, a family violence intervention program, 60 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation, and any required treatment. No further violent or harassing contact with the victim, Landon Hammond. And the balance will be suspended upon completion.
All right, Mr. Ruffle is talking to Mr. Romero right now. While he's talking to Mr. Romero, I have a late show over here, Mr. Mohammed Saeed. Mr. Saeed, are you all done, Mr. Kessler?
One quick thing, Judge, you said to him, report to Mitchell Street, you said by Wednesday?
No, on Thursday, next Thursday, not before, on Thursday. That would be April 4th, is it? April 6th. April 6th, 4 p.m. 3 p.m. The reason being they have staggered dates. So by the time all the paperwork gets there, I typically try to give them at least, well, not at least, but close to 1 week.
Thursday before your.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, thank you. Is that space clear? Mr. Saeed, if you'd like to come all the way around to the podium, please. Saeed, this is position number 15. Ms. Gutierrez, he is present. This is 20 CR 004-116C. Mr. Saeed was accused of battery, family violence, and cruelty in the third degree from July 11, 2020. Mr. Saeed, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and who is representing you?
Myself.
This has been going on since July 2020. Have you made any effort to retain counsel
I've been working on it,
since July 2020?
but I haven't been able to retain counsel.
Since July 2020?
Yes.
And what have you done to retain counsel?
Well, I've been working through some programs that,
No, let me be very clear. What have you done to retain counsel?
I haven't retained counsel.
Okay, that's a more honest answer. Would you like the services of the Public Defender's Office to see if you qualify? We have 2 attorneys there. If you apply, if your income doesn't qualify you, then you would have to represent yourself or hire your own attorney. What would you like to do?
Sure, I'll take the state attorney.
All right, but you need to fill out a form and see if you qualify. Now let's get to the more serious subject. Who is the young lady with you?
That is the Salama.
All right. Have you read the bond order that was issued against you when you were released from jail?
No.
That order requires you to stay 200 yards away from the victim and not have any contact with her. And the only way that order can be changed is if we have a subsequent court order saying that you can have contact with her. So by walking into the courtroom and seated next to her, you've already violated the court order, which means that I can have this deputy marshal to take you in right now. Do you understand, Mr. Saeed?
Yes.
Mr. Lal, I understand that you want to have contact with Mr. Saeed, but he's under a court order to stay 200 yards away from you and not have any contact. And by you being with him right now, he risks the top chance of going to jail today. All right, you're free to go, and please make sure you don't have any contact with him from this point onwards.
Your Honor, before she says anything, may I speak with her, please?
Yes, you may.
Ms. Medade, I'm gonna, can you give me a call, please?
All right, Mr. Saeed, you've not done anything to retain counsel, and you've not even bothered to read the court order, and you possibly jeopardized your freedom today. I would highly recommend that you speak to one of the 2 attorneys over here to see how you'd like to move forward. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Mr. Gaither, we have the young gentleman back there. What was that, Mr.? Could you tell me your name again, sir? Smith? Charleston Blue Smith. Okay. So we're going to wait on Mr. Roffoff as soon as he's reviewed.
Deal with that right now.
Okay.
He read the discovery, I've read the discovery. He doesn't want to accept the state information today. There is some witnesses involved. I'd like to have the time to investigate the case and talk with
Ms. Githia, would that be with you, Ms. Githia, next time?
Sorry.
You're on mute, Ms. Githia?
Can Mr. Raffoff come up to the mic? I couldn't hear him.
Oh, sorry, so.
Okay, yeah, I've read the discovery. He's read the discovery. He doesn't want to accept the state's offer. I'd like to investigate the case, put this on the final plea calendar.
Okay,
Come back and discuss the case with you.
that's fine.
Okay.
May 5th, 9 a.m. final plea calendar. Mr. Smith, did you understand what was just going on? All right, so you need to be back here in person at 9 a.m. All right, your attorney is Mr. Roffoff. And if you all decide to take a plea hearing, he will have the paperwork ready before 9 o'clock. Correct, Mr. Roffoff?
Yes. Did you give my name and number? Okay, all right.
All right, do you have any questions for the attorney? Go ahead. All right, position number 16 is reset, May 5th, 9 a.m. for final plea. Is there anyone who has appeared on Zoom late? All right.
There are no more victims.
Mr. Gaither, have I addressed all your cases?
Yes, you have, Judge.
All right. Ms. Githia, while we're waiting for, Mr. Romero's case and Mr. Said's case. Let's go through the calendar, please. Mr. Gaither, you'll keep along? Mr. Gaither, you will keep along with the calendar? Okay.
Sorry, I had turned the mic off. Yes, Judge.
All right, position number one, we have Emily Cabrera. It is 10:32 a.m. The calendar was called at 9 a.m. No one has appeared. The state's requested a bench warrant. It is granted. On the DUI is going to be $1,500. The failure to maintain lane is $500. That's a $1,500 surety bond. Sabrina Carter, position number two. Sabrina Carter has failed to appear. This is her second failure to appear. A bench warrant will be granted. The bond's going to be set at $1,000 surety bond. Position three, Devontae Cheshire. Devontae Cheshire. This is the second FTA. State request for a bench warrant is granted. Bond is set at $500 surety bond. Position four is reset to May 5th, the final plea calendar at 9 a.m. Mr. Diggs is represented by Mr. Michael Roffa. Position five, Sean Fails. Sean Fails has failed to appear. The state's requested a bench warrant. Ms. Githia, you didn't get a chance to perfect the record on that?
Yes, the state requests a bench warrant, Your Honor. He failed to appear December 3rd, 2020.
This is a second failure to appear. The bench warrant is $500 on the simple battery, $1,000 on the battery. That's a $1,500 surety bond. Position six, Richard Hughes has not appeared.
He does not have any failures to appear, but the state is requesting a bench warrant.
Is granted. It's a $1,000 surety bond. I do see that the mail was returned to sender. However, it appears that Mr. Hughes does not live at the address that we have on file. Christopher Jones. Ms. Githia.
The state requests a bench warrant. He failed to appear on January 12th, 2021 for a plea and arraignment.
This is his second failure to appear. Is $1,500 on the battery, domestic violence, $500 on the cruelty. Total bond is $2,000 surety. Position eight, Ryan McGee is represented by Mr. Gaither, and his next court date's May 5th, 9 a.m. for a final plea. Position nine, Kelvin with a K, Miller. Kelvin Miller has not appeared.
I am not showing that he has any previous failure to appear, but the state still requests a bench warrant. He received notice.
It's $500 on counts 1, 2, and 3, and $1,000 on the DUI. So that will be $2,500 surety bond on the bench warrant. Position 10, Mr. Noble Milling is represented by Mr. Gaither. Case is reset to May 5th, 9 a.m. for a final plea. Position 11, Marvin Mitchell. Ms. Gaither? Githia, excuse me. Ms. Githia.
I am not showing any previous failure to appear, Your Honor, but he did receive notice. The state requests a bench warrant.
Counts 1, 2, and 3 are $500 each. Count 4 is $1,500. Total bond is going to be $3,000. That's a surety bond. Did I do the position 9 correctly? Yeah, okay. Position 12, Robert Mitchell is represented by Mr. Gaither, reset to May 5th, final plea calendar at 9 a.m. Position 13, James Rancon. Ms. Githia?
I am not showing any failure to appear for Mr. Rancorn. The state requests a bench warrant. It's up to him to update the court about his updated address.
Bench warrant set, $500 surety bond. Position 14, I have Mariano Romero. We are still holding an announcement for that case. Mohammed Saeed is still holding an announcement for that case. Charleston Smith is represented by Mr. Mike Rockoff. Reset date is May 5th at 9 a.m. for a final plea. Position 17, Romy Tekle Mariam. is null crossed. Position 18, Sade Thomas is represented by Mr. Gaither, and his case is reset to May 5th at 9 a.m. for a final plea. Position 19, Phelan Thorpe. Got a prior failure to appear on February 18th, 2021. This is the second failure to appear. Request for bench warrant is granted. Bond is set at $2,000 surety bond. Position 20 was a final plea.
And Your Honor, I'm gonna call Miss Salama. I think she's out in the hall.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. We'll be in recess until Mr. Rockoff can address Mr. Said and Mr. Romero. Thank you.
Judge, I believe that's all my cases. I just wanted to make sure I got the calendar correct. May I be excused?
Yes, Miss Helen, you have a great weekend. See you
Thank you,
next
Judge.
week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I think we can
Oh,
address,
by the mic,
we can address.
The mic, sir. Mr. Gate. Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr.
We
Gate is your IT person at the table, so no help for it. Yes, sir.
we can address Romero.
Yes, sir.
That just, like I say, we just need to set that on a final plea or status, so I can take a look at everything.
All right. And you've already got the offer, right?
Yes, I have the offer. Yeah.
Okay, May 5th at 9 a.m. for final plea.
Okay. You got that.
All right, Mr. Romero, you have your attorney's name and number. All right, make sure you get that. So the next judge who asks you who's your attorney, you have a name, contact, and your contact information. All right? And your next court date is May 5th, 9 a.m.
Okay.
Are you Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you celebrate Cinco de Mayo?
I don't.
Okay, well, otherwise that would be a good way to remember your next court date.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's how I remember everything.
That's here, Keith.
All right, we'll be in recess until we address the last case. Thank you.
Judge Law?
Yes, Ms. Githia?
I have spoken with Ms. Salama, and whenever Mr. Raffoff is, I'm sorry, whenever, is it Mr. Raffoff or Mr. Gaither is ready, I'm ready.
Let's see now. They are qualifying to see whether the PD can represent.
Yeah, I can represent him.
Closer to the mic, sir. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
You know what? Next time I'm gonna mic you like one of those, people in court TV. Okay.
It's Mr. Gaither's fault. I try to stay as far away from him as I can.
Oh.
Okay.
It's you,
I-
Frank.
I'm sorry that I acted up in court a while ago, but I had the most inappropriate reaction. He's gone, but just so you know. I asked him if he had any proof that that victim was deceased, and his response was, attended her funeral. And I burst out laughing. and
But what was
I
the
couldn't-
response?
I attended her funeral.
Lord help me.
Instead of just, I just burst out laughing. I couldn't help it. But
I
anyway,
saw that, but I didn't know what was going on. So, okay. All right. Well, what about Mr. Said?
then I will represent him for this proceeding. He said he's gonna hire his own attorney after today, so we can either go ahead today or wait for him to hire an attorney.
Okay. Ms. Githia, Mr. Said, in that case, you are representing yourself at the present time. All right. If you'd like to come back to the podium, Mr. Said. You can give him back to the phone. Okay. All right, Said, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of the case, your statements can and will be used against you. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Githia, any comment?
I'm going to place the offer on the record. It is 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, the balance probated, a family violence intervention program, no further violent contact with the victim, Adele Salama, 40 hours of community service, and 2 parenting classes.
All right, Mr. Ruffo doesn't represent him, but he's whispering in there, so
Okay.
Probation.
guidance.
I think that he got all excited there and he needs the alpha repeated.
Okay, thank you, Mr. I was going to repeat it for him too.
Okay.
So, anything else?
That's what we need right now, the repeat of the alpha.
Okay. So, Mr. Said, what the state is offering you is that in the event that you plead guilty to this offense, they will not ask for additional jail time. They will place you on probation. While you're on probation, you will complete 40 hours of voluntary community service hours. Okay, you can do that with any nonprofit agency. Salvation Army, Goodwill, or any nonprofit agency that you know of, all right? You would have to complete 2 parenting classes, and the probation officer will give you the recommendation of which schools qualify for that. It's, I think, a 1-hour class, but you'll have to do 2 of them, okay? Those were the 2 conditions, right? I didn't have an FWIP or anger management. Would that be correct?
Yes, it is a family violence intervention program, Your Honor.
Oh, there was an FWIP,
Yes.
okay. You would have to complete a 24-week program. It's called the Domestic Violence Intervention classes. And you will attend those classes every week. You pay for those classes out of your own pocket. And once you're done with the classes, once you're done with the community service, and once you're done with the parenting class, the state is going to suspend probation. Is that correct?
The state would stated balance be probated in this case.
All right. So I will then put you on non-reporting probation. In other words, if you complete the classes, then for the rest of the time, you'll be on non-reporting probation. So if that is something you'd like to consider, please understand that you will have a battery family violence charge, a conviction on your record. And in the future, if you ever get arrested again for a similar offense, it could automatically be a felony charge. All right, now Mr. Raffoff wants to say something.
And you would not be allowed to carry a gun if you enter the plea.
Okay, can we have just 30
Yes,
seconds?
you might want to be away from the mic.
Yeah.
And just so I'm clear, did he qualify for the service of a PD and just chose not to, or
He does not
oh,
qualify.
he doesn't? Okay.
Oh, Mr. Ruffoff, I forgot the other part. Throughout probation, he can have contact. In other words, the no further contact will be lifted.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no, but if you finish it.
While Mr. Raffoff is speaking with him, can I ask a question about the 1:30 calendar this afternoon?
Yes, I did ask that one too, and there's the calendar has fallen through. So that's nothing.
That's what?
There are no cases for 1:30.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Gutierrez.
Go ahead.
Stay there.
No, go ahead. You can talk through this mic.
Ms. Gutierrez.
Yes.
Before we leave, I need to get some clarity on the plea paperwork for Mr. Yardy after we get finished with this position, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Raffoff, are you speaking on behalf of Mr. Said, or what are we doing right now?
What? Mr. Said wants to retain counsel.
Okay, I'm going to arraign the case today. He has 10 days to retain counsel and make sure that the attorney can file all the necessary paperwork for him to preserve his defenses and demand discovery. So, Mr. Said, if you please take the mic, because Mr. Raffoff is not permitted to represent you. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Arraigning the case means that you'll be entering a plea of not guilty. You understand that presently you have a no further contact with Miss Adele Salma. Salah. Is it Salah?
Salama.
Salah. Okay. After you leave this courtroom today, if you and she still maintain contact, then you run the risk. All right. If anything happens and you get involved with the authorities again, please understand that they can arrest you and charge you with aggravated stalking, which is a violation of a court order, which is a felony charge, which means that you stay in jail up to 3 months with no bond. All right.
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay. So presently, this is Case number 20 CR 004-116C. State versus Mohammed Ayub Saeed, accused of battery, domestic violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree from July 11, 2020. Mr. Saeed, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and you've been advised of your right to counsel. I'm arraigning this case today because it's been out there since July 11, 2020. And this case has been going on long enough for you to have not retained counsel and had some fraction in this case. So presently, what we're going to do is allow you to enter a plea of not guilty. Would you like me to read the charges against you, the accusation, or do you waive a reading of the accusation? In other words, the formal charges that have been brought against you, do you want me to read it out in open court, or do you want me to waive a reading of it, not read it?
May I? You can read it out in court, or actually waiver.
You're going to waive a reading of the accusation. All right. These are misdemeanor charges to which you are legally presumed innocent of these charges until the case goes to trial. At the time of the trial, the prosecution has the complete burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If the state, if that's the prosecution, if they do prove these charges against you and meet that burden of proof, you could be convicted and face a sentence of up to a year in prison and or up to $1,000 fine for each offense. And the sentence could be served together or they could be served separately. So you could potentially look at up to 2 years in prison and or up to a $2,000 fine. With regards to both these charges, given this information, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Right. I'm going to, this is battery, domestic violence. The case will be set for a jury trial. We will do a case management order today. And you will need to retain counsel within the next 10 days to make sure that they file all the necessary paperwork and any defenses that they, any motions that they choose to do so. Do you have any questions, Mr. Saeed?
No, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck.
You've
got a copy of the bond order. You've got.
just want to say that I apologize what happened, and it's something that is behind us, and I'm looking forward to getting this resolved.
Okay, but unfortunately, that's why I was looking up the paperwork when I saw the both of you walk in. I mean, if there is an order that's changing the situation, that's fine. But you would need an attorney or you can file the appropriate motion to amend the contract. But at the present time, Ms. Githia has spoken to the victim, and that's why she came up with the offer of no further violent contact if you decide to plead guilty. But that's entirely up to you.
Yes, Your Honor, I appreciate it, and I apologize I wasn't aware of that, those bond terms.
You-
and
where's your
I apologize
bond
for
order?
that.
I've got that point.
All right, okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. That concludes this case. Ms. Githia, that concludes the calendar. So we're all good. Thank you.
Did you want to call me, Miss Redden? Or did you want me to call you?
What do you need from her?
I'll call you, yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.